Good afternoon, dear colleagues. My presentation today will explore how we can combine theories of information behavior with the technocognition framework to better understand AI-driven misinformation. As a framework for understanding how individuals seek, evaluate, and use information, I propose to employ a theory of information behavior. In terms of this theory, AI-driven chatbots function as both information sources and search tools, thereby reshaping almost all components of this model: context, external barriers, and forms of information-seeking behavior. According to the technocognition approach, misinformation operates as an alternative system of knowledge, whose spread depends less on factual accuracy and more on network structures and user cognition. Broader social conditions, such as declining trust, rising inequality, and political polarization, provide the environment in which misinformation thrives. In describing the methodological characteristics of research on AI-driven misinformation, it is suggested to shift from the general aspects of information behavior to those specifically impacted by the use of artificial intelligence. The key elements of information behavior can be outlined as follows: context, barriers, and forms of information-seeking behavior. The study combines information behavior theory with the technocondition framework to create a foundation for analyzing how users verify information in an AI-driven media landscape. Instead of offering a full review of selected articles, I draw on insights from the 37 recent studies to build and present a methodological agenda. As a starting point for analyzing information behavior, this discussion focuses on context of the information seeking. Information acquires its status as a social fact only when it is perceived and disseminated by users. However, the user does not exist in a vacuum. The interaction with information is mediated by the surrounding environment. Context plays a crucial role in how users search for information sources, assess their credibility, and participate in the dissemination of information. In the context of information behavior, barriers emerge based on the situation in which people need information. These barriers can be divided into personal and environmental. Personal barriers involve cognitive biases, while environmental barriers relate to the algorithmic biases. The interaction of these two creates what one could call automation bias, a major challenge in information seeking when AI is involved. Automation bias refers to users' tendency to overtrust AI outputs, believing them more than they should, especially when these outputs align with their expectations of what accurate information looks like. At the same time, AI systems themselves are biased. For example, sampling bias happens when the training data isn't representative, and algorithmic bias occurs when certain attributes are disproportionately emphasized by the model. Together, these biases contribute to AI misinformation, where AI systems produce false or misleading content. The final element in the user journey to information is information behavior. The introduction of AI as a tool for searching, evaluating, and generating information mediates this behavior. While AI-based systems, especially large language models, can produce highly accurate answers, their reliability depends on how questions are phrased and the complexity of the topic. The integration of the artificial intelligence into information seeking processes blurs the line between information sources and tools. AI now combines verification, cognition, and misinformation generation in a single process, fundamentally changing how users engage with information. For example, AI interactions have been shown to reduce belief in conspiracy theories. Um, the goal of this presentation was to reflect that the issue of misinformation isn't simply about false information infiltrating an otherwise truthful pool of data. Information does not exist in isolation. It is shaped by users who, driven by their socially conditioned beliefs, distort and spread what feels convincing to them, especially if it aligns with their ideologies. With the rise of artificial intelligence, new forms of bias have emerged. AI systems can inherit the biases of their creators and users, from the selection of training data to the way prompts are being formulated and interpreted. This technological mediation introduced new dynamics in how we seek and process information. In AI-mediated environments, the perception of misinformation becomes a complex challenge, requiring careful attention in designing user experiences with generative models. Within the Technocognition framework, misinformation is seen not as a fail to detect truth, but as a byproduct of socio-technical systems, where human cognition, algorithmic inference, and network structures interact. I hope this framework would contribute to our common understanding of what AI misinformation is. Thank you for your attention.